Paul and I have been out here doing some final prep work, checking all our stands, making our straps are good, just making sure everything's totally dialed in. Checked a bunch of trail cameras today. Some big bucks are finally starting to show up, which is obviously starting to get exciting. So it's time to really start getting out of here. Now, I hope that you've been able to tune into some of the improvements I made on my farm this year. Earlier in the year, we did that big clear cut project. Lots of trees came out. A lot of them were planted. Despite the droughty conditions, a lot of trees still survived in there. Probably have to do some replanting on some, but overall, this first year growth is already starting to thicken up, and I can already see the deer are starting to gravitate in there because now that we've opened up that canopy, the sunlight's getting in there and there's all kinds of browse for those deer to begin to eat. It's almost like a giant food plot, and it will be that way for several years to come until those trees really start to grow and start to thicken up. After that, we started to work on that string bank project. Now, I'm not sure how much that's going to really enhance the deer as it's going to enhance the property itself. Lots of erosion was taking place on this property. The banks were in terrible shape, and every time a big storm would happen, just more and more soil was being sent downstream. We came in here with a lot of equipment, a lot of rock, put in some very important keys to protect the bank from eroding even further, putting in all kinds of riprap to be able to protect the bank. And of course, what I wanted to do is we added a bunch of spots where the deer could still cross so they didn't have to kind of be billy goats and climb up those rocks. But we got that string bank completed. On all the edges, we planted switchgrass, but with this terrible drought, honestly, none of it took. So I'm gonna have to do a frost seeding on that and possibly even a replanting next year. I did put down some oats just to be able to kind of protect and hold the bank together this fall. But for right now, I just have to hope that weather's gonna cooperate next year and that switchgrass is gonna start growing in nice and thick and just give my stream just a beautiful corridor for those deer to be able to travel along. The next thing we did was a big tree planting. This is about a 2-acre tree planting. It's all more hardwood species like swamp oak and some hickory and some different trees of those type of varieties are gonna handle down here in this bottom area. But that is going to be just an awesome forest in years to come. Did a lot of caging to protect those trees so that I know in years to come that's going to be just another young forest and a great bedding area. But the one thicket that I was most excited about was my shrub planting. And the drought didn't inhibit it too bad. A couple of varieties did actually really well. This is about a 1.8 to 2 acre shrub planting, and it's just a critical piece to the point where you saw that I put that electric fence in. I want to protect that as much as I can because if those deer get in there, they will devour those shrubs. But in the future, as those shrubs begin to grow, it's going to make a very critical connecting point between the two properties. So make sure you get back there and watch those episodes, as there's a lot of information in there that can help benefit your properties. Well, as far as the season goes, mine's already started. Just got back from New Mexico, had a pretty decent hunt out there. Unfortunately, I was not able to actually get a bull elk, but I'll tell you what, that's not what it's all about. Getting out there, getting in those mountains, testing your strength in the altitude and hiking around those mountains and canyons can really be a pretty daunting task. It was just an awesome area to hunt, super cool. I mean, it was amazing from the perspective of the fact that I saw 5 different bulls, which is pretty good, right? I mean, sometimes you can go on these hunts and not see anything. There's been plenty of times when I've hunted this farm for days and haven't even seen the target deer that I've been after. But they were screaming. We just couldn't get all of them to come in close enough for a shot, but did have a good time. But what I will tell you was super cool, and hopefully you saw the episode that wasn't too long ago. Troy was able to put down a sweet bull elk, 35 yards, smoked it, and it was his first elk ever, so I couldn't have been more happy that he was able to get one. Let's go ahead and talk about the important thing right now. White-tailed bucks, man. That's what we all love. That's what we're all thinking about right now. At least I know I am. On this particular farm where you've been watching my series of videos that I've been putting together, unfortunately, I just don't have as many shooters here as I would like. I don't know if it was EHD. I don't know if it's over harvesting in the area or some of the sharpshooting they're doing in the public land, but unfortunately, some of the age class of the bigger bucks, I'm just not seeing them on this farm. Honestly, I don't know how much hunting I'm going to be doing right here, but I will tell you, I've got 2 bucks in mind that I'm definitely chasing. Let me rephrase that, maybe 3. and they're all on different farms, so I definitely got some other bucks that I'm gonna be able to go and chase. One particular is looking really, really, really good, but I don't wanna spoil it, and I don't wanna jinx myself, because that's one buck that I'm gonna be spending an awful lot of time chasing this fall. Until next time, get your bow out, start shooting. I'm trying to shoot every single day now in preparation for the season, because before you know it, we're gonna be waking up and we're gonna be sitting in one of our stands that I've been working on this fall. If you have not, Jesus, because there's all kinds of things for them to start, because there's all kinds. As always, I'm super excited about the fall. Okay, let me do it. Eyes on. I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to, okay, let me just do this one over. It's kind of lame.